So these are the things what we have seen in our previous class. Now let's look at another thing, like it's still considered as in a collection data type itself. Now I'm going to showcase how this collection data type going to be working. Now we already talked about the collection data type. One is of an array and another one is of a list. In the list, we saw how we can add and remove the values and much more. Now we will see another topic, another collection data type, which we call as a dictionary. Now this is of a variable which will hold you two values, two different values, which we call as a key and value pair. We call that as an key and value pair. Now, what does it do? Like, how does it exactly gonna work? Let me brief it. Like how exactly this is gonna be working and how exactly you're gonna be using it. Okay. Let me just give you one example. Anyways, you guys have your mobile phone, and in your mobile phone, you might have saved my number. So you can be saved it as an Kantesh instructor, or you can save it as Kantesh RPA instructor or UiPath instructor, something. See this, like in your address book, you have this. Let's assume you have saved my number. That means my details. Now, whenever you want to call me or whenever you want to ping me, so do you look for that mobile number? What it has been? See, mobile number, it's of a unique number which has been assigned to the peoples. See, so the number what I have, it will be dedicatedly for me. So whenever you call me or ping me, I'll be getting a call to my mobile phone. See, now whenever you want to do a call or whenever you want to ping me, so what you're going to do, you're going to go to your address book, you're going to go to your contacts, and you're going to look for Kantesh, and you're going to just click on that. So it will be auto dialed to my number. So this is the way how you're going to do in your mobile phone, in your contacts books, like the same way in UiPath as well. This in UiPath, this data type going to hold two values. One is key and another one is value. It holds two different values, key and value. Now, key is the value which you can give anything based on your requirement. See, you might have saved my name as Kantesh RPA Developer. So like another guy might have saved my number as Kantesh Instructor. So, but actually, what is my name? It's Kantesh. This is my actual name. But for that mobile number, based on your requirement, you have given a name. Similarly, you'll be having that value. For that value, you will be giving an like your requirement name. Now, whenever you want to call that value, you're going to call by its name. See, whenever you want to call me, you're going to click on my contact. That's it. The call will be dialed. Actually, in the background, how it is doing, your mobile phone is dialing to the number of Kantesh. But what you're doing in your contacts, you're just going and finding the name and you are clicking. That's it. But in the background, it is not calling to the Kantesh as a word. It is dialing to that number which is behind it. That is, we call as a value. The name and value. These are the two different things which we're going to be storing in this dictionary data type. Now, let's understand how we can add or delete some values, and how we can retrieve the value, and how we can reassign some of the new values to it and all. So let me jump into my workflow. Where's my UiPath? So just remember your contact book, your address book, so that you can understand this concept very well. I would say as dictionary. Adding some of the required dependencies. I would have created this earlier. Yeah, now it's done. Let me open up a main workflow and let me drag and sequence onto my canvas. Okay. Yes, now I'm done. So now what's my requirement? Your main agenda is us to understand about the dictionary. Before we understand the dictionary, whenever we want to discuss any of the topic, we're going to take up a use case, right? Similarly, let's take up one use case over here. Think I'm a teacher in a kindergarten. So in the kindergarten, we'll be having many students, right? For that students, we wanted to celebrate their birthday. Now, I'm very new. I'm very new to that class. Now, I want to see when are those student birthdays so that I can plan accordingly and I can give them some surprise party kind of thing. Now, this is my scenario, but I have around 50 plus students. Now, what is my agenda is I want to see whether this student's birthday has passed or it's in near future. That means, for example, let's assume one student name is something as Kevin. So Kevin is born on, let's assume he has born on somewhere in the March. When I consider today date, March, it's already passed. On March, we have already celebrated his birthday. So the bot should say as his birthday has been passed. Now, let's take another student name as Zach. So Zach birthday is in around November. In the November, see, it's in near future. So bot should say me as, hey, this Zach birthday is in near future. You can plan accordingly. As soon as I feed some data of the students, the bot should give me an output like stating that so-and-so student birthday has passed or it's in near future. This is my requirement. As, as soon as I give some data for the bot should analyze and it should say that particular student birthday has passed or it's in near future. Now let me see how it can be done. For that, let me use one activity, assign. You guys are already familiar with this assign. Let me use something as multi-assign. See, this is same as this assign, but if I want to add multiples, I can add it. How many ever things I need. But whereas in this, I couldn't. That's the only difference. Now let me remove the above one and yeah. Before I just give some of the things, what is the agenda? We want to give the data for the bot to see whether the birthday is passed or not. For that, to store the data, I'm going to create an variable and in that variable, I'm going to store it. So first, let's create a variable. I would say as birthdays. And the data type would be as dictionary. See, browse for the type. Just look for dictionary. See, where is my system.collections dictionary key and value pair. This has been derived from the MS Corlib. See, this is corelib, ms corelib, it has been derived, but now since we have given this search, so that's the reason it is giving directly. So this is the dictionary which you wanted to select. See here, it has two things, key and value, two things. Now, as soon as I select it, see here, generic dictionary. What is the data type of both the things? See, it is asking the data type of key and value. I can give anything based on, for example, string or this as an integer. I can give it. There is no rule that I should give same data type, key and value. It should be same data type. For example, in your context while you're saving, does the name of the contact and the mobile number data types are the same? No. The contact number is of an integer value, numbers, but the name of the contact is string. See, it can have. So dictionary is also same thing. There is no restriction that both of the things should be same data type. You can change it. But now for our understanding, let me just state it as both of the things as string. But remember that it's not at all a rule. It should both are the same. It should be both as the same. We don't have any rule such. If I hit OK, see, dictionary of keys of a string, value is of a string. Now, if you remember in a previous class when we were discussing the list, we were initializing, right? Like the same thing, we have to do the initialization for the dictionary as well. Let me create that. Let me give up that initialization over here. What's the initialization? Like the same way as yesterday, we have given as new. We have given list, right, yesterday, but now it would be dictionary. See, dictionary. And yesterday in the brackets, we have given as of string. Like see, even here, we given of string. But it has a value also, right? See here. In the list, we had only one. It was storing that one values, list of one values. But now I have a combination of the thing, key and value. So only of string, if I specify, then for key it is done. What about the value? Even you have to state this, or else it will not be initialized. Let me give a comma and let me state it as string. That's it. See, I don't have any error now. This is the way how you initialize your dictionary once it is initialized. Let me start storing the values. I would say as birthdays. See, birthdays of a dictionary. In that, let me give a name. I will say as Sam. And he was born at let me say as some random name. He was born somewhere around, let me give in the somewhere at the past. So first the month 6 slash on 21st day of year as 2018 something. See, birthday of Sam, this value. Similarly, I need to store multiple students' values. Now, birthday of, let me give a name as Stephen. So when was Stephen was born? I would say as somewhere in the future, like 07. Now we are in the 10th month. So let me say as 11 slash around 8th of November. In the year 2016, he was born. Let's assume. Now, let me store another student value as well. So totally 3 student values I'll be saving. I will say as Smith. So he was born around, let me say tomorrow's date itself, 14/10/2020. Let me see. 10/14/20. Let me give this year itself. No, let me not give this year. I will say as 2020. See, this is the way how I'm storing the values. How I'm storing the values to the appropriate variables. This is of a dictionary. This is right now it's empty. Now for this dictionary, I'm adding the value. This is the way how I'm adding the value. See here, birthday of Sam. Sam is a key for me. Sam, birthday. Stephen is a key. This is the value. Smith is a key. This is the value. But I need to specify this is of a dictionary. Dictionary of key is equal to what value you have to store. You can give that. This is the way how you can store the values to your dictionary. Now, okay, right now I have given the data for the bot. Now what bot should do? It should see each of the students and it has to see whether that student birthday has passed or it's in near future. This is my requirement. For this, see my communication itself says the bot should iterate through each of the thing. Each means for each. It has to iterate through for each of the activity. Let me drag this for each activity onto this canvas. Now here in the in section, I need to pass the dictionary. And let me ask my bot to iterate through each one of the keys. See, these are the keys, right? It has multiple values, key and value. If I give it, the bot will iterate through this first, next this, totally 6 times it will be the loop. So what I will ask the bot is, hey bot, iterate through each of the keys. I don't want you to iterate through the values. I want to iterate you through the keys. How to give that? See, birthdays dot keys. See, I have a function, birthday of keys. Now, if you see the properties and whenever you're using a for each, keep an eye on type of argument. See here, previously in our previous examples and all, it was already a string thing. But now look at it, type of argument is object. So that's the reason I said keep an eye on the type of argument. Now, what is our type of argument? A type of argument is, what is the data type? We have key and value, it's a string thing. So we should set it as string. Now, rather than current item, I can give something else as well. So I will say as something as, what shall I say? Let me keep it as current item itself. Okay, let it be. If I give birthdays again, you will get confused between this. So let me keep it as this. What bot will do? It will take each student one after the other and it's gonna iterate. So this is the way how it's gonna be doing. Now in the for each, I'm iterating through each one of the students. Next, while iterating, what the bot should do? Let me show you. Let me drag one assign activity and let me give one expression. And guys, please bear with me. Like from the starting of our session, I was completely dealing with this expression itself. So you might, in the first, if you remember, I said this UiPath is, we don't have any coding thing, but we have some of these expressions which is to be known. So that's the reason I'm just spending my times on this expression. And trust me, from our next topic, everything gonna be and just drag and drop. So please bear with me and please understand the expressions what I'm using only for this topic till dictionary. But from our next topic, which is of an Excel automation, which we're going to be discussing, everything going to be just drag and drop and do an automation. That's it. So please bear with me for this session. Let me give an expression over here. One small expression. I will see as datetime dot parse it. What it has to parse? It has to parse the current item. And let me store it in a variable called, I would see as date current. Okay, I need to close the brackets. See, current item is what? Current item is the keys. Keys means Sam, Steven, Smith. So if I say uh, birthday of Sam, what will be the answer? If I say birthday of Sam, the value, I'll be getting the value as an out. See, if I ask my mobile phone to call Kantesh, the bot will be calling to this number, not to the word as Kantesh. Similarly, if I call birthday of Smith or Stephen or Sam, I'll be getting the values. So what I should do is datetime.parse. I'm going to give birthdays, birthdays of current item. What is that current item is holding? See, it is holding the first keys. First key. First means Sam. It is giving the Sam. So datetime.parse Sam. Sam, if I say birthday of Sam, I'll be getting this value. That means what I'm doing, this is of a string, right? Whatever, as I said, whatever you give in double quotes, it will be string, static string. Now what I'm doing, I'm parsing it. I'm converting string to an date and time. If I hit OK, see the output of this will be date and time. And this date current is of what time? It's of a string. I need to change it to date and time. Let me look for date, time. See, we have so many options in this. Let me show you which is the one you wanted to look in. See, MS correlate. See, private correlate, system, date, time. See, we are referring to this itself every time. Let me hit OK. See, date, time. It's of a type, date and time. The output, it is converting string to a date and time and it is storing over here. After this, next, let me drag another assign activity and let me give one expression. Again, in another new expression, I will say as new date time. In the brackets, I would say as date time dot today dot year, comma, date current dot month. I will explain what exactly I'm doing. So when I run it in a run mode and when I just show you, you're going to understand the things better. If you just see this expression and if I start explaining you, you'll not get it. So that's the reason I'm just fast tracking some of the things. Let me store it in a variable called current year anniversary. And let me drag and one if activity and let me give an expression as current year anniversary if it is less than date time dot today. If it is less, then let me drag a message box. If it is not, let me drag another message box. So what's my first message box going to say? My first message box is going to say as, let me use string dot format. You'll see the potential of it now. String dot format in the brackets, in the double quotes, I will see as birth anniversary of, let me open and close and let me keep the placeholder as 0 as past. It was on so and so date. That date I will give it delimiter pointer. Let me give a comma and I would say as current year item, and for this I will say as date current. Let me copy the same expression. Let me put it up over here, but the phrase would be changed. Birth anniversary of so and so person is in near future. It is on so and so date. Simple. Okay. It's less than, yes. Oh, here it's alpha harmonization. Current year anniversary is also often date time. Okay. Let me open up a notepad and let me clear out the things and let me copy some of the expressions what we have given so that we understand better. Here, what's our date current? Next, I would see as current year anniversary. For this, I'm giving the expression as this. Let me copy it and let me paste it over here. Okay, now let's understand. Just concentrate on it, guys. I'm going to explain in detail about it, how the bot is working. Step in. So the bot has started the flow. Why? Yeah. Started the flow. Step in. Step in. See here, birthdays, the variable, what we have initialized. See, it's gonna hold two values, key and value. Still, we haven't stored anything, as you can see. Now, when I hit step in, see, the same variable, it's holding three values, three key value pairs. It is holding three key value pairs. If you see in the brackets, Sam, his date of birth, Stephen, his date of birth, and Smith, his date of birth. This is the way how it is storing. Now here, what's the expression I have given? Birthday.keys, right? Let me give birthdays.keys. If I give this expression, just see what will be the output. See, I'm getting an output, only the names, Sam, Stephen, Smith. These are the only three output what I got. That means if I say birthday.keys. Now, let me do one thing. If I say birthday of Sam. So what's the birthday? When is the birthday of Sam? See, when I call dictionary variable of the key, the student name is Sam. If I say that, the bot is giving me the output of when that student has actually born. See, when that student was actually born. He was born on 2018 year. Now, what we are doing, we're going to be iterating through each one of the keys. See, totally how many people are there? Three people. Sam, Stephen, Smith. I'm going to be iterating through each one after the other. So if I hit step in, the bot hack came inside. And if you see, what is my current item is holding? Current item is holding the value Sam. As you can see, it took the first value, Sam. Let me update the same. What's my current value? Current item is holding. It's holding the name, Sam. Now, just now I have showed you. If I say birthday of Sam, what I'll be getting? I'll be getting the birthday of that person when exactly he or she has born. Now current item is this. Now what will be my optimized expression? This thing will be birthday of Sam. So this is nothing but birthday of Sam. If I say birthday of Sam, what will be the output? The output will be as this, as you can see, when he was born, when she was born. See, the same thing. So this expression will return an output as this value. Now let me optimize it. Let me give this over here and let me put up this value. Now what I'm doing, see here, I'm converting from date time. See, I'm converting this of a string. Whatever we give in double quotes, it's of a string. We are converting that string to the date and time. Why I'm converting to the date and time? You will understand in our next step. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm converting into the date time. If you remember, in our previous cases as well, we have converted string to an file info. Why we have converted string to an file info? Because it gives us more features, more functionalities rather than string. So that's the reason we are also here converting from string to an date and time. If I see, if I hit step in, just see what is that date current will be holding. Right now, date current is holding some junk value, as you can see. If I hit step in, see, date current, it is holding when she was born. On the 6th month, on the 21st date, on 2018, she was born. That is the thing it is giving. Even though I have a time, since I haven't given the time over there, so it is just giving all the things as zeros. But you can see it has converted from string to the date time. Now, if I show you the same variable, date current, see, look at the difference. This is of a string, this is of a date and time value. So, date current, now it's going to be holding this value. The output of this is going to be this. So, finally, date current is of one variable which will be holding the exact birthday when so and so that person have born. See, this is the value the date current will be holding. Now let me just star mark it. Next. What's my next expression? I have another assign and it gives me something as this. This is the expression what we have given. Now let's start understanding one by one. See, this is of a big expression. Let me take this as a first. Next, this. Let me put it up in this way. And last, this value. See, each are separated by comma. So that's the reason I'm splitting the things and so that we understand better. So first, date time dot today dot er. See, if I hit date time, if I give expression as just date and time, that's it, nothing else. This is often data type. Date time is of it, data type. So it is returning as like a what do you mean by data type? If you just say it as string, what does it understand? So this is of it data type, date time dot today. See, date time dot today. See, what's my today? What is the today's date? 13/10/2022. That's the same thing I got. 10 is a month. 13 is the date. 2022 is the year. Date time dot today, it gives me current date, today's date. It's gonna give me today's date. And my expression says, in this today's date, I want only the year. See, in this today's date, I want only the year. 2022. What's year in we are in? 2022. So that's the reason this expression will return me output as 2022. Let me give as 2022. The output of this is returning me an output as 2022, right? See, I have given this thing as 2022. Next, look at here, date current. Previously, date time. This was my data type. But what is this? Date current. Date current is what? See, date current is the value when that so-and-so person has born, that value. In this date and time, I'm getting the month. See, in this variable, where is my month? Whether it's a first place or second place. First place is of a month, 06. So when I say date current dot month, it returns me output as 06. Let me see that. If I type it as date current dot month, see, the output is 6. The same thing, 6. See, right now we are in the month of October 10, but the bot is returning 6 months. In this, the 6th month, the month is getting you. Okay, let me state it as 6. Next, again, date current dot day. What is the day? Date current dot day. See, what was the date he was born? 21st. See, 21st was the date. So this output will be 21st. Now, what will be my expression now? New date time. First, I'm giving date time dot today dot year. Year is what? 2022. 2022, comma, date current dot month, 6, 6, comma, date current dot day is 21, 21. The output of this would be, see here, this is the output. See, it is stored in a variable called what? Current year anniversary. See here, current year anniversary. If I put up the value, see here, this is the value what my current year anniversary is holding. Now, let me put up a star mark over here as well. And I will say as current year anniversary. It is holding the value as this. You can start noticing the difference. What do we have in the date current and what do we have in the current year anniversary? See, date current, it's holding the month. Even it is holding the month. It is holding the date. It is also holding the date. It is holding the year when he was born. It is holding the year when his birthday should be celebrated. See, this variable is holding when exactly he was born. He was born on 2018. In this current year, when I want to celebrate his birthday, like this is the date. See, this is the year. Year is the only thing it is changing. On the same day, same month, but year is changed. On this day, the birthday has been celebrated. Now, after I store this value to this variable, then the next condition is very easy for me. See here, current year anniversary, that value, whether if it is less than date time dot today. If you remember, what is my date time dot today is holding? See, date time dot today, it is holding current date and time. What I'm doing, I'm comparing if it is lesser or greater. See, both are current year anniversary is for date and time. Date and time dot today is of a data type, date and time itself. So I can easily compare whether it is lesser or greater. If it is lesser, that means his birthday has passed. What's the expression I have given? String dot format. See, birth anniversary of pointer has passed. It was on. Again, pointer. What is the first pointer? Current item. What is the current item is holding? Sam. So, birth anniversary of Sam has passed. It was on. What is the date current is holding? Date current is holding when he was born. So, that. Okay, rather than date current, let's give current year anniversary so that our expression, our statement will suffice. Let me stop and let me change it. Rather than date current, I will say as current year anniversary. Copy it and let me put up the same. So Sam has like birthday, which is already been passed. If it is passed, the bot should say as it's already passed. Now, after giving me that message, the bot should again, it should check for the next student. See here, birthday of Sam. It was, these are the calculations what we got. And based on the understanding, yes, it is lesser. Current anniversary is lesser than today's date. That means like it's something like June. June is lesser than October. Yes, it's true. June is lesser than the October. So the bot will give me a message box like stating as birth anniversary of Sam has passed. It was on so and so date. See, it is giving me the current year when he was birthday, when she was birthday. If I hit OK, see again, it's gonna take the next. You can see current item. Right now, next value is Stephen. Now it's gonna give me the output of Stephen. See, I got an output like stating that birth anniversary of Stephen. It's in near future. Near future. It's in November 2022. So I can plan his birthday. If I hit OK and if I hit continue, see next. Birth anniversary of Smith is in near future. It is on. See tomorrow itself. Tomorrow itself his birthday is. See, based on the flow, based on the use case, what I took, the bot has easily helped me to understand when so-and-so person having their appropriate birthday. I have just given that person birth date, when the year, the birth year. But what did my bot do? It has converted that birth date with the current year date, current year birth anniversary, and next it is saying me that whether it is past or it's in near future. So this is the way how you can build by using a dictionary. See, this all happened because of this dictionary itself. In the dictionary, we have stored two values, key and values, and we have iterated through each of the keys and we got an output. So this is what all about an dictionary. Any questions over here on the dictionary part?
No, sir.
Okay. So do I need to explain it again? Did you guys get this about this dictionary?
Not
Yes.
totally. I have to check again the video. So
Yeah.
be fine with.
Okay. Yeah. That's what. Like if you go through this video and when you start practicing, then only you're gonna get it in better. So please do practice. Anyways, even this session is recording. Once this session is done, I'll be uploading the recording. You can refer to that. And just give me a minute. I will just open up some of the things. Let me do some small settings in my design. Since it is taking some time to load, so that's the reason I'm just seeing some settings change. Never mind. So let me create a new sequence. And now our next topic, as I said earlier, guys. So everything we're gonna be talking in terms of automation itself, just dragging and dropping the things. Let me just open up some of the thing. So where's my Excel? Yeah, here's my presentation deck. Let me close this. I think it's loading up. It's still not opening. Now it did. In the meantime, let it take some time to load. So let me start. Let me start with our actual automation projects. So till now, guys, what and all we have seen, these are the some of the basic level foundation things. What we have set it up our base right now. Now we're gonna be starting building our skills on this platform. Now everything gonna be just drag, drop, configure the things. That's it. So everything is now everything is something like it's very easy, but the only thing what you want to understand is you want to understand more about the activities from now on. Till now we were understanding how the bot was working, how the bot was behaving with this expression, what how the bot is doing the manipulations and all. But now what we're going to do is we're going to be understanding about the activities which are already available, and we'll be coding accordingly. So now today's agenda is we still have 1 hour more. We're going to be discussing about the Excel automation. And in our upcoming classes, we're going to be talking about the UI interaction and email automations and all. So this is our agenda for the day. We'll be talking about the Excel automation. Now, Excel and data table. If you remember in our previous class, when we were talking about the data manipulation, we saw 3 different types of data manipulations. One was scalar variable. Second was collection. Third one was data table. That's what we're going to be discussing now. Now it's of another data type, which, where, how the bot going to be storing this value and all we're going to be understanding. Now you might be worrying about what is the use of this Excel automation? You might be thinking of that. Yes, there is a huge potential of this Excel automation. Why we are seeing that is in now it has loaded. So in most of the business cases, like in most of guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I saw like some message like um, some low compatibility kind of a thing. Okay. So in most of the business cases, many, I would say as almost all of the business cases are still triggered by some simple Excel things. See, many people are still sharing their data in the terms of an Excel. They'll be doing some calculation, complex calculation. They'll be running some macros kind of things. And still many processes are still generating an output as Excel itself. Now, UiPath have seen the potential of this Excel and they have put it up some set of activity where you can use that output of that Excel as an input for the bot to do an automation. Now, let's see what in all the options we have. Now, before I jump in, guys, I'm going to give a couple of minutes for you. So what you have to do is it's all this is of a static thing. It will not movable, but these are movable. This question is completely related to the Excel thing. Now, what do we call a worksheet? What do we call as a column and all? That is the mapping what you have to do. So what is the scenario I'm giving here is I have 5 different companies. I'm handling 5 different companies. In 5 different companies, I have employee data. Now, when I give you this data, how you will be arranging? How you will be arranging all this data in one single file? That is the question. Now, when I give that complete employees data of 5 different companies to you, how you gonna be putting up all the data into one file? First, for first one, let me just help you. Like workbook. What workbook what do we call a workbook as? See, if you store all the data of all the employees of all the companies in a group, if you put up everything into one file, we call that as a workbook. So this will be the number 5. So for this number 5. And similarly, this workbook will be having multiple sheets. This workbook will be having multiple columns. This workbook will be having multiple rows. This workbook will be having so many cells and all. Now I want you guys to map these things to the appropriate thing. Just give it right. Here everyone are learning. Even at first, when I just saw this as a message, when I was in learning, even I made a mistake. So not at all a worry. Just give it a try and just give me the numbers. This goes to somewhere, I will say as this goes to this 1. So this would be 1. Or if this is going to this, you should give me number as 4. 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, something as that. I just want a number. Just take it time and analyze it. Over to you guys. Any guesses, guys?
Yes.
2431.
Just give me numbers. Like, what is the number?
2, 4, 3,
3.
1. 2, 4, 3, 1.
2431. And this was 5. 24315. Okay, let me see the answer. Let me open up an Excel file. See, this is my Excel workbook. See, workbook is nothing but like if you have any book in your hand. See, if you see that book, it has multiple pages, right? See, multiple sheets. Similarly, this is of an Excel file which will be having multiple sheets in it. See, you can store multiple sheets. When I save this as a when I save this file, then it would be as a workbook for me, because it has multiple sheets. Now, when I give around five different companies, and if I give you all the employees data, now if you want to store the appropriate companies with the appropriate data, what you're going to do? Like, it's a straightforward thing. So 5 different companies means you will create 5 different things, 5 different sheet. So in each of the companies, you'll be having their employee details like name, like a date of joining, when that person was joining, and date of birth, when he was born, and the when he was hired, hiring date. See, so many details will be there, right? So many details. For this company, you'll be storing all the things over here. Similarly, for next company, you'll be storing all the things here. Similarly, you're going to be doing for all the 5 different companies. Now, what is our first question? First thing, the hiring date of an employee. See, the hiring date of an employee. Where is my, for suppose this is my hiring date. And here, let me store some couple of names, 1, 2, 3, 4. I will see as joining as some characters. Now, see, the like the first option, what it is asking is the hiring date of that one particular employee, of an employee. See, it's of a singular, one particular employee. Hiring date of an employee. See, this is the hiring date of employee name 2. This is the hiring date of employee name 1. This is the hiring date of employee name 34. So the hiring date is going to be mapping to cell. The hiring date will be mapped to cell. See, each cell will be giving you the value. So the hiring date, the cell will be mapping to hiring date. Next, the date of birth of all employees. If I want to get the date of birth of all the employees, see, if I hit this, this is my date of birth column, which is holding which is holding the date of birth of all the employees. See, all the employees date of birth. The date of birth of all the employees, which will be connected to the columns. Columns will be this. Next, all the data of one employee. See, all the data of one employee. See, if I want to get date of joining, date of birth, hiring date with the name, if I want, what should I select? If I select this row, See, I'm getting the complete details of this employee. I'm getting the name, I'm getting date of joining, date of birth, hiring date, everything. See, that means it's start connected itself. Row will be connecting to the all the data of one employee. See, next, the leftover one is worksheet. All the data of all the employees of one company. See here, one company in a group. We call that as a worksheet. See, this is of a worksheet, sheet 5. This of another worksheet, another company data will be here. This of worksheet 3. It will be holding another company details. So the worksheet will be mapping to this, and the workbook, which is going to be holding all the data of all the employees of all the companies in a group. So the output would be as this, as we discussed. Now, as I said, now as soon as I say as columns or rows and all, you're going to be now understanding what exactly do I do mean. So that's the reason that was in the quick exercise which we have done now. Next, data table. This is often another data type what we have under UiPath. This is often data table. Now, how does this data table data type going to store the data? If you remember how the string is storing the data in double quotes, how the list is storing the data, it's in the sum brackets, and how the array is storing the data in the flower brackets, and how the dictionary is storing the data, key and value pair. Similarly, how this data table data type is storing the data in terms of rows and columns. See here, this is the same way how the bot will be storing in its memory. Same rows and columns. The beauty of this data table is if you want some value from this data table, how can you access? It's straightforward thing. If you want the number 5, if you want this number 5, you would directly call as, hey, data table, give me series 3, category 4. See, I'm calling by column index and row index. The point where it adjoins, it's gonna give me that value. See, this is the point where it adjoins, right? So that value I'll be getting. Similarly, if I want something as 2.5, then what I would be calling data table of series 1 row, series 1 and category 2, where it is adjoining at this cell. This cell is holding which value? 2.5. So I'm going to get in 2.5 value. Similarly, if you want to get some additional different values, this is the way how you can get it. By calling by the column index and the row index. See, this is my column name and the row name. I'm getting the values. This is the way how you can get the values from the data table. Now, this below are the 4 different activities what we have under UiPath, which generates output as data table. These are the below 4 activities which generate output as data table. First is build data table. What does it do is, it's gonna give you an option to build. See, similarly in the Excel, you're gonna put in some employee name, date of joining, hiring date, that as a column name, and you're gonna start adding the data right over there. Like, rather than you doing it on Excel, in UiPath itself, you have one activity which is called build data table. There you can give those value like the same way how you're going to give it in Excel, like the same way you're going to give it over here. It gives you an Excel kind of a scenario for you where you can start adding the values in the workflow. Next, read range. Suppose you have already an Excel. In that Excel, you already have a data. Now, what your bot has to do? Your bot has to read that data and give it to you for processing. So for that, you have one activity called read range. This read range activity, it's gonna help you to read that data and give you an output as data table. Why data table? Because the bot is reading the Excel file. The output returns as data table. Next, read CSV. This read CSV activity. CSV activity, it is one of the absolute like activity which we don't prefer to use, but still many of the clients and many of the application generates output as CSV. So that's the reason the bot have maintained this activity for it. Read CSV activity, what it does, it is comma separated value CSV that it gonna read that comma separated value and it generates the output as data table. That is what that activity gonna do, read CSV. Next, data scraping. Data scraping, I will talk about in detail in our next class, so don't worry about it. I'll be talking in detail about the data scraping, how it's gonna work, and how it generates an output and all. But just remember that these are the only 4 activities what we have, which generates output as data table, which generates output as data table. Now, these are the data table activities where you can do a manipulation for the data table. Till now, we were using an expressions, right? Now we'll be using an activity to do an manipulations. See, if you want to add a data column, if you want to add a row, if you want to build some data table, if you want to clear out some data table, filter. See, even here you have something as for each row, generate, join, lookup, merge, output, remove some things, and sort the tables. You have vast varieties of options, which we're going to see now. Let me jump back to my studio. And here, let me remove some of these activities. Okay, so now in the activities, if you type as data table, see, look at it, how many set of activities you have. Add data column, add data row, you can build it, you can clear it, you can filter it. I have listed over the right. You can see all of the data table activities are here, where you can start manipulating the data. Now, by considering this, anyways, we're going to use it. For this, let me take up one scenario. What is my scenario is, you can think me as a librarian now. As a librarian, what is my job is, right now people have borrowed so many books from the library. Now, as a librarian, what I have to do is I need to call them and I want to ask them to return the books. This is my agenda. What my bot has to do is it should read the records, read the database, what I have and who have borrowed the books, and it should give me an output, like it should give me a list so that I can call them and I can ask them to return the books. So this is my agenda. Now, for that, here I already have a data. See here, build data table activity. Here in the data table, see here, I already have data. See here, I have something as ID, first name, last name, phone number, and the department. See, this is the user data. User who have borrowed the book. Those data. Not only borrowed the book, who have visited the library and who have still not taken the book, who have just visited as a guest. All the data are available over here. All the user data is here. See, this is user data. And here I have an book, that book who have borrowed it. See, the books, these are the books who have borrowed, and it is already crossed the due date. This is the data what I have. Now what I want to do is I need to refer this book title, see overdue books data table, and I need to refer this user as well, and I need to see which person have took the data, who have the book, have took the book and still haven't returned it. I want to just call them and get it. See here, I have the information about the book. See here, book title, author, book ID. Whereas in this, I have the information about the user, their ID, their first name, last name, phone, department. Now, what I want to do is, when I give both the things for the bot, what bot should do is, it should see who is the person who have borrowed that book, and it should give me an phone number of that so-and-so person, so that it will be easy for me to do the task. This is my scenario. Now let's see how it can be done. As I already showcased, we have used a build data table activity. The build data table activity, what it does is, it gives me an canvas similar to the Excel. See here, I can add as many as the columns I want. I can give the appropriate names, anything, and I can add as many as the columns, and I can add as many as the rows, and I can start adding the values to it. By using this, I have built an sample, like a sample data table. See here, in build data table, I have created ID, first name, last name, phone, department, and I have stored some values. And similarly on the overdue books, I have did the same thing. Now, next. So these are the two datas what I'm giving for the bot. As soon as my bot takes this data, what it should do, it should see both of the data, and it should say, okay, this is the person who have borrowed the book, still not returned. So that is the output what I needed. It has to combine both of the sheets to one. Right now, I have data in different sheets, different variables. See here, look at it. The output of this is data table. See, out document, data table, user. Similarly, overdue books. If you see my variable panel, user, overdue books. These are the two data tables. Now I have the data in two different data table. What my bot should do is, it has to combine both the things to one, and it should give me an output. Combine output. Let me see how I can get it. First, what my bot has to do, it has to take both of the things and it has to combine, right? How can I combine? Let me see what in all the activities I have over here regarding data table. See here, join something, combining related thing itself. Let me just drag and drop it over here, and let me hit join wizard. I get a canvas, and it is asking me the input data table 1. Okay, data table 1 is user. Data table 2 is overdue books. See, these are the two things. One is user and another one is overdue books. Okay, so user, I'm going to give the overdue books and the user. And let me store the combined value in a variable called DP. See, I have created one variable from the designer panel itself. So I have created that variable as DP. Now, what my bot has to join, on what condition it has to join. If you closely observe, we have a common thing between these two data table. What is a common? If I hit this, I have department, phone number, last name, first name, ID. ID I have. And here, book title, author, book ID, and ID. See, both of the things has ID. So that will be my primary key and the secondary key. By looking at it, I'm going to ask my bot to join the values. Join the values and give me an output. Let me give that in the join wizard. So in the things, in the double quotes, ID. And here also ID. It should be equal. It should be exactly the same. Then only I would get, okay, this is the guy who have borrowed the book and I need to call him. If it is not equal, then he's not the one, he's not the guy who have took the book. So if both the IDs are the same, then that is the thing what the user have took the book. Now, that is the data what as a librarian I needed. So this is the condition. Now, if I hit OK, see, it will be done. And if you would have closely observed, we have one option, which is called join type, which is of a thing as inner has been selected. We have three things: inner, left, and full. Let me talk about it. Where is my browser? I will say as join types. Yeah, let me open up this. Okay. Let me create two variable. I will say as A and B. So these are the two variables. A has the value 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let it be as only 3. Now B has 4, 5, 2, 3. Yes, let it be as this. So A is holding 1, 2, 3. B is holding 4, 5, 2, 3. Let's assume this is the value what this each variable is holding. Now, by considering that, let's understand about this join types. If I keep A as in the first position and B as second position, if I give as an inner join, what will be the output of it? The inner join output will be as, see, inner join will give you only the common value between these two. So what are the common values? Do I have 1 in this? No. Do I have 2? Yes, I do. Do I have 3? Yes, I do. See, common value between these two. What are the common values? 2 and 3. So the output is 2, 3. Now, what about the left join? The left join, see, the green indicates the common value. See, common value. Common value is 2, 3. 2. The bot gives me first common values and the leftover value in the A. See, which is the leftover? 2, 3 is already here. Which is the leftover? It's 1. So the output will be 2, 3, 1. See, inner join. Common value means only the common between these two. Left join means get me all the values from A as well as the common values. Get me all the values including common values. This is what the output is. If I say as full join, first the output is common values 2, 3. Next, the left values. Left value is 1 and right values. Right value is, what's my right values? Remaining leftover 4, 5. 4, 5. This will be the output of full join. Common value, leftover value, right, leftover value, all the things it is. Similarly, when I say as right join, see, I'm going to get the common value first. Common value is 2, 3. 2 and 3 is the common value. And leftover value from the right. Leftover value are which? 4 and 5. So the output is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is what the output is. Now I hope you got it. Like, what does this join type is? Inner join means what value you're going to get when you give two different values. And when you give left join, you saw what will be the output. And full join, you saw what will be the output. Right join, also you saw what will be the output. Did you guys get this? Get this about the joins, type of joins, what we have?
Yes.
Now, it's the same thing over here in UiPath. Let me put up that one here for reference. Here also see inner, left, full. You have all the joins. Now, based on my use case, what I wanted only the common value. Why? Because user having many people will be visiting libraries. There are only some people who will be borrowing the book. So I don't want all the data. I want only the common data. The two who have borrowed the books only. So that means the common data is left. Left gonna return me common data. So that's the reason I'm going to be selecting as inner. Left means the leftover values from the left and the common values. Full means you saw all the values. By first will be the common values, next left, next right. Right leftover values. And if you observe, we don't have one option, which is of right. Why? Yes, it's true. We don't have right. Right option we don't have. Why? Because UiPath have seen the potential of the right. See, left join, you have given A as for B as 2. So you're getting output as this 2, 3, 1. Common value is 2, 3, and 1 is the output. Right. Now, whereas the right join, even if you give A, B as this, the output will be is this. Now, suppose you have a business case, you want to do a right join. In that case, what you would do? You don't have right join at all in UiPath. In that case, what you can do is just swap this. See, swap this B to this, A to this. If I swap, if I try to write it again, see, if I swap, previously this was B, this was A, but now what I will do is I will do as this is B and this is A. If I consider and if I see an output, what it will be? The common value between these two is 2, 3. So 2 and 3. And the leftover value from the left is what? B. B's leftover value is 4, 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. If you observe, like see, the same left join, by just swapping the things, you're getting output of right join. See, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same thing. So that's the reason, rather than building this option, it is not very much difficult for the UiPath team to build it, but they don't see any potential. They have optimized this activity. That's it. So in the left join itself, you can get the right join by just swapping it. That's the way how it is. Let me just hit OK. Now, this is an output which gives me an value as in the combined value. Now, what I can do is I can just ask my bot to print out that in the output panel, which is of DT. DT is of a variable. Let me convert to a string because it's of a data table. And now if I just trigger it, the workflow will be started and it's going to be giving me an output. That is data table as an output. See, the workflow has started. And I should be getting an output in the output panel itself. See, the workflow is done. See the output panel, it is giving me as data table. Where is my data? It is giving me the data type. See, this is my data type, variable type. It is giving me that. Why not the data? Because, see, if you remember, if it was string value, we were getting the data. But if it was array, we saw a mechanism, we need to call it by index. If it was collection, now this is a data type, data table. In this, how can we access the data? In this, it's completely different. If you want to convert to a string, if you want to print it in the output panel, you have one activity which is called output data table. What it does is it converts a data table to string. See here, look at the properties of it. Input is data table, output is text. Input, I'm going to give the data table, and output, I'm going to get in text. I will see as dt strdt string dt. Now let me print that string dt. And if I trigger the workflow, see the workflow has started and ended. If you see the output panel, see, you have all the data. You can see first you have book, overdue books, the data tables. And next, the people who have borrowed the books, it's here. See, this is the way how you get the data. And if you observe, see your book title, author, book ID, ID and ID underscore 1. Both of the things I got. That means, like, see here, both of the data table has ID as a column name, right? What is the specialty of data table in Studio is the bot should have, the data table variable should have unique column name. Let me repeat it. It should be having unique column name. Right. As you can see, even in build data table, it's ID. Even in overdue books, it is ID itself. Even in overdue books. See here, ID itself. Now, since the bot has to maintain a uniqueness, so what did the bot have renamed that column name to _1 by itself? So that why it should be unique? Because in UiPath, you're going to be calling by its column name. If you want this Hawking Stephen, you would say as data table of ID _1. You're going to get this. See, you are representing by column name. If you have multiple things as an ID, if you have multiple things, then what value it would give? Difficult, right? So that's the reason it maintains an unique column names for you. Now, as you can see, we have ID and ID _1, right? So let us remove the one ID part because both are the same. Let us remove. Do we have an option to remove? Yes, we do have. See here in data table activity, remove data column. Let me just drag and drop. And here in the remove data column, in the data table section, let me give the data table in which it has to remove the output of join wizard I'm giving. And what is the column name? See here, the properties. If you see, I can give three things. One is I can give the column name. I can give the column index. And this is of an advanced topic, which we will discuss later. It is of a data column data type, which we're going to be talking a bit later. But now let's understand about column index and column name. For now, let me give the column name as dt _1. Is it a dt? No, ID, right? So ID underscore 1. Next, similarly, let me remove the other one as well. What's the index? Let me remove this department. So department has ID index of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ninth index. What did I do? Counted from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me give a 9 as an index and see what will be the output. See, index as 9. I'm asking the bot to remove and the data table. Let me run it and see. It says cannot find column index. What is the wrong thing? What we did is we have counted from index 1. But if you remember, UiPath index starts from 0. By considering that 0 to 8, 8 values we have. So I need to change it to 8. Last index, if I want to remove the department, then this is the index. Now if I hit run, just see what will be the output. See, you don't have department, you don't have ID underscore 1. That means you have removed it. Now, okay, like it's very clumsy, right? To see it over here. Let me ask my bot to write it to one Excel file so that it will be easy for me. We have one activity which is called write CSV activity, which will help us to write the same data as in in an Excel file. Let me show you. See, write CSV, DT, the thing, and it should write where it has to write. It has to write it in an location. This is the location where it has to write. Untitled.csv. If I hit save, see, this is the location where it has to write. If I hit run, see, the workflow has started. And ended. Okay, let me open up the project directory. And here you have untitled.csv. Let me double click on it. See, this is the data, what I have. Now it's very easy for me. See, Dean, Porter, he have took 2 different books. One is A Brief History of Time and another one is Cosmos. This is his phone number. As a librarian, it is easy for me. Next is Georgia. And next, similarly, this guy has took 3 different books. Okay, so this is one, and this guy has took 2 different books. I can directly call him. See, this is the way how you can work it out easily and you can get the things. And suppose if you want to sort value as well, if you want to sort this last name in ascending wise, first you have some C, and next it should be in ascending wise. If that's the case, then even that is simple. You have already everything in ready-made activities in UiPath related to the Excel. See, if you want to sort it, you have a sort data table activity. See, sort data table. What you want to sort? I want to sort, let me give the data table first, which is DT, and I can give the index or name or column. So rather than index, let me give the column name. What's the column name of it? It's last name. It should be the same as this. Whatever you give, it should be the same. Last name in the double quotes. Let me see as last name. Now, let me run this workflow and let me put up an output. So let's see what will be the output. Now the bot should be sorted the value. See, the workflow is done. If I see my output in this Excel, not in the Excel. Here, see here, untitled.csv. It has updated now. And if I open it up, see, okay, still the last name is not sorted. Let me remove that and let me execute again. Where's my workflow? And we have given the column name as this last name. That is the same exactly what is the output what we got it. Sort the column with in an ascending wise. Oh, okay, see here, I made a mistake. I'm giving an input, but output, nothing. I need to, let me override the same variable. Rather than creating a new variable again and again, what I'm doing, I'm reusing the same variable. Input, what I'm giving, I'm just overwriting that in the same data table. It will do it. So this is the thing what I haven't done. So that's the reason I didn't get an output. If I run this, see, I got an output. And if I open up and that CSV file, here it is, the last name has been sorted. This is the way how you can work on the data table. Any questions over here on the data table front? Anything, guys? Or do I need to explain it again?
No, sir, no.
Okay. So right now, till now, what we did, we have discussed about this data table. That means till now, we have discussed about the second part of the workflow. What's the first part then? If you consider an Excel automation, you'll be having a data in Excel and your bot will be taking the data and it will be doing some manipulation and it will be writing the data into the Excel back again. So this is the flow. This is the one complete cycle. Bot should take the data from Excel. It should do a manipulation and it should write back the data to the Excel again. This is the one complete cycle. Now in this, if you closely examine, we have looked the second part. That means we have assumed the bot have already read the data from Excel and we were just doing a manipulation by using some of the other activities. Now it's a time for us to understand how the bot will read the Excel. Now we're going to be talking about the Excel activities. We have two ways of accessing the Excel. One is of an file level access and another one is Excel app integration. So we have two ways of reading the Excel. Which are those? One is file level access and another one is Excel app integration. These are the two levels of accessing the Excel file. When I choose file level access, it will work in background. The advantage of this is it doesn't require an Excel application to be installed. See, this is often greatest advantage. Why it is usually all the customers, all the clients, what they do is they're going to ask us to run this bot on their virtual VM, virtual environment like AWS, Azure, and all over there. Now, over there, if you're doing an Excel automation, then you should be having that Excel application installed on your machine. If it is installed, it should be having a license. See, license cost. It's applicable. But if you use in UiPath while coding, if you use file level access Excel file activities, then it works in the background. If it is working in the background, it doesn't require Excel application at all to do an automation. See, this is the advantage. But the con is it works only with .xlsx files. See, this is the only extension it's gonna work. Apart from that, nothing else. This is the only extension. That is the drawback what we have under file level access. Whereas Excel app integration, see, it works in the foreground. That means like the way how we are opening an Excel file and how we are entering the value, right? Like the same way, even the bot will open up an Excel file, it enters the value as you can see on the screen. That means it works in the foreground. If it is working in the foreground, then Excel application should be installed, license should be applicable. So that is the drawback. See, it requires Excel application to be installed on the machine, and also it should be licensed. And advantage is that, see here, it works with all the files, all the file extension. Whereas file level access, it was working with only XLSX, right? But whereas this Excel app integration, it works with all the extensions. These are the two ways what we have to access the Excel files. Now, as soon as I explain this, what you will be running in your mind, you'll be your eye should be will be completely on file level access. Why? Because you want it to run in background, everything. It should not be in foreground. No, as an RPA developer, you should not think in that way. You should analyze the use case. If your use case is holding .xlsx file, then blindly go ahead with file level access. If your use case is holding some other extension, then blindly go ahead with Excel app integration. This is the way how you have to choose the method, whether it's of a file level access or Excel app integration. Don't look at the whether it is working in background or foreground. Look at by analyzing the advantage, the drawbacks, you have to take a call. And if your client don't want to install that Excel application and he don't want to add a license, in that case, just go ahead with file level access. If he's available to open up and add the license, then you can go ahead and Excel app integration. It totally, first case should be checking the file extension. In the file extension, if this is passed, then blindly go ahead with this. In the first check, this Excel app is failed. This you have to use this Excel app, then you have to use it. You don't have any other mechanism. You have to work around with that. So this will be the key for choosing the type of access. Now, let me jump into my workflow. So here I would create a new sequence. I would say as Excel auto, and let me hit create. Guys, I think we are already running up of the time. Guys, I will hardly take another 10 minutes. Why? Because after this topic, this Excel automation will be done in our next class. That is on the next week when we catch up, we can start with a new topic. So I'll be extending another 10 minutes more. Please bear with me. So first is Excel Auto I have created. Let me drag a sequence onto this canvas. And what's my use case over here? My use case is that, see here, I have two different files. One is data1.xlsx and data2.xls. Look at the extension. Now let me open up both of this Excel file. And parallelly, let me open up the other one as well. Okay, so this is the one. See, you can see this is the data2.xlsx and this is the data1.xlsx. See, it has a phony year, company, and revenue. Similarly, I have an output. Let me delete this. Totally, I have 3 Excel files. Look at here, data1.xlsx, data2.xls, and companies before 2005 XLSX. First, in the data 1, I have phony year, company, revenue. And in data 2, even there, I'm having the same thing. revenue founding company. Now what bot should do is, it should read both of this Excel file, data 1 and data 2, both of this Excel file, and it should give me only the values, only the set of companies which was founded before 2005. See, in this data 1, which are the companies which was founded before 2005? Is this before? Even this is not applicable. Is this? Yes, only two companies which was founded before 2005. It should take only these two records from data 1. Similarly, in the data 2, it should see before 2005, which are the things, and it should take only those data. And after taking all those data, it should enter the data over here. This is my requirement. What should do? It should read both of the Excel file, and it should take the data, and it should extract only the data which was founded before 2005, and it has to give me an output. This is my requirement. Guys, if you're stuck at any point, please do ask me. I will explain it once again. So this is my requirement, and let me show you what and all the available options we have. As soon as I type Excel, see, these are Excel activities. You can see Excel app integration. This requires Excel application to be installed. This requires some of the prerequisites, what we saw, all the things. But when I just type for some as file, see, these are file level access, file workbook, file level access activity. Those are the previous thing I have showed you, Excel app. This is file level access. Now, first is what I have to do. I have to read data 1, right? Data 1 dot XLSX. If you remember, what is that XLSX means? Which method we can use? XLSX means file level access. Why? Because it works only with file level access. Let me use file level access. Let me use something as read range. See, I'm going to get it to activity as an out in the suggestion. Which activity to choose? See, this is Excel app integration. This is file level access. Now, what is our file extension? It's .xlsx. Let me drag this file level access read range. What are the things it asks? It asks me the path. Okay, where is the path of that? So this is the location. Let me give a slash. I would say as data1 dot XLSX. Let me copy that path and let me give it in double quotes. See, that is the path. That is the path where it resides. And what's the sheet name? Where is my sheet name? Sheet name is sheet 1. Let me go over here and let me state it as sheet 1. Next, what is the range of data you want? See, what's my range? It's starting from A1 colon to C6. I can give that. See, I can give from A1 column to C6. I can give that. But every time you need to see what exactly the range is. Apart from that, what you can do is you can ask the bot to get you the complete range by just giving double quotes. Don't specify anything, just give double quotes. This will read that complete Excel file and it's going to give you an output. Let me store this in a variable called dt1. Next. So the data1.xlsx, I have read it by using read range activity. Now, similarly, I have data2. But what's of extension? It's of .xls. XLS means I need to use Excel app integration. I don't have any other option. Let me just drag and drop. See here, it is not at all asking me the file path, but it is throwing an error. It says as this application, this activity is valid only inside Excel application scope. Let me look for something as Excel application scope. See here, let me just drag and drop. And let me put up this activity inside. See, now I have a workbook path. This Excel application has a workbook path. Now what I can do is I can go over here and I can take the data2.xls and let me give it over here. Simple. And in the read range, sheet 1 is the thing. And in the properties, let me store this in a variable called dt2. See what we did? First, we used in file level access to read the XLSX data, and we have stored it in a variable called dt1. Next, we have read the data of extension as XLS by using Excel app integration, and we have stored the data in a variable called dt2. So once we have the complete data, then it's easy for us. Next step. What's our next step? Which we already saw, and we already have a knowledge. What is that? Next is the second part, the data table. Now everything we're going to be dealing with this data table activity for manipulations. See, only the reading part has been changed. That's it, which we have added, but rest all remains the same. What I want my bot to just get me the data which was founded before 2005, right? From each of the Excel. So we have a filter activity where we can filter out the data. Let me just drag and filter activity onto this canvas and let me hit configure filter. It asks me the input data table. Let me give the input data table as dt1 and filter data table where I can store. Do I need to create a new one? Yes. If you want, you can create it, or else you can reuse this variable again so that it will override that variable. If you want, you can do that. Let me do that rather than creating so many variables. See, override it. Okay, what is the filtering mechanism? Okay, here in the data one, we have something as column name as founding year. What bot should do is the founding year, if it is less than 2005, then the bot should keep it. If not, it should remove it. See, if the condition satisfies, then keep it, or else remove. This is the filtering expression what I have given. And you have some output columns as well. See here, what is the use of this is data one has founding year first, next company, next revenue. What about the data two? First revenue, founding company. See, we don't have any standardization at all, right? So let's bring some standardization to it. First, let's ask a bot to keep the company name, next founding, next revenue. Let's keep this as an order. So I can rearrange the things. I can sort it based on my requirement in the output columns of filter activity. First, I want company, right? So let me copy the column name. See, I'm copying the same exact thing so that I never make mistake. So output columns, first, the column, it should be company. Hit a plus thing. Next, which column you want? You want founding year. Let me copy this. If there is any small change with the column name, the bot will not recognize it. So you should be exactly the same thing what it is. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm bringing some standardization with the arrangement of columns. It should be as this format itself. First company, then year, then revenue. By filtering this, it should give me an output. This is the filter data table of what? Data table 1. That is Excel SX. Now I want to do the same thing for other data table. Same thing, exactly the same what I did. Now it will be as a dt2. Let me store it in a variable called dt2 again. And I want to keep it. What I want to keep it? What is the column name of this? See here, now it is founding. Whereas in the data, it is founding year, but now it is founding. So I need to give the same thing as it is. So what here it is founding. If it is less than 2005, it should keep me the value rest or it should remove. So output column arrangement should be first, it should be the column company name. Let me copy the company name and put it up over here. And next, what is the next? We want the founding. Let me copy that column name and bring it over here. And next, last but not the least is revenue. Let me copy it and let me put it up over here. Simple. So that means even this will filter out in value. So I have two variables which is being filtered out and I have all the values inside it. Now what my bot has to do is it has to combine both of these variables, both of this data table, and it should print it in the output sheet, which is my output sheet is companies before 2005. This is of my Excel file. It has to write it over here. Let me see how I can do it. After filtering, if you just observe, I have data 1, right? Data 1, founding year, company, revenue. Data 2, rather than founding year, here it is founding. Company, there it is company, here it is company name. Revenue, it's the same. So let's bring some standardization to the column name as well. How to bring some standardization to the column name? By building a data table. Let me use a build data table activity and let me build it. So first it should be company name. It is of a type string. See here, you can change the data type of it if you want. And if you want to allow null, if it is of integer value, you can auto increment. If you want to store some default value, you can do it. If you want, it should hold the unique values, you can enable it. And maximum length, how many characters it has to take. It's the, if you give 100 characters. If you don't know the length, just give -1. This means unlimited number of characters it's going to take. Next, first is company. Next, founding year. I will say as founding year. It's of a type integer. Founding year, it's of an year, right? So integer value. Allow null, maximum length -1. If I hit OK, even that is done. Last but not the least is revenue. This one I will keep as string itself. Why? Because see, I have dollar symbol which is appending at the last. So it is of a special character. If I change it to an integer, then it will throw us an error. So that's the reason I'm keeping as a string itself. Let me hit OK and hit OK. So this one, the output is where it has to store. It has to store in a variable called dt3. In dt3, the bot should store the data. Okay, after bringing some standardization to the column position, after bringing some standardization to the column names, next what my bot has to do, it has to take all the values from data table 1, output of this, output of filter. It should take all columns, add it to this, add it to dt3. It should take values from dt1, it should add it to dt3. It should take values from dt2, it should add it to dt3. How we can do that? By using for each activity. See here, iterate through each one of the rows. Like suppose dt1 has 2 rows, which is less than 2005. It's gonna iterate through each one by one, and it will keep on adding to this. Let me show you that. The bot should iterate through dt1, and while iterating, it should add data row. See, add data row. In which data table? dt3. In dt3, it has to take value from dt1. It should add it to the dt3. And here, what values you have to add? What values the bot should add? It should add this value, the current row, what it is holding. If I hit current row dot item array, it's gonna add all the values from this to this. Let me do the same thing for DT2 as well. Let me change it to DT2. Simple. So this two activities, this two for each activity, it's gonna add this data to that DT3 data table. Next is very simple. What we have to do, we have to ask our bot to write the data to this file, which is of companies before 2005.xlsx. XLSX means we can use file level access. Next is what we have to do, we have to write the data. So I will say as write range. See, file level access, write range. Let me use that. And it's asking me the path. Let me take the path from this location and let me give it over here. And what's the sheet mean? It's sheet 1. And in which cell? There is no particular cell. It should write from the top itself. So what values it has to write? It has to write the DT3 data table. Now, if I run this workflow, just check it out how the bot will be doing it. See, if I just trigger it, see, the bot have thrown an error like stating that the process cannot access the file because it's being used by another process. If you see, we have opened up that Excel file. If you remember, what is the thing about this file level access? It should work in the background. And Excel app, it doesn't require Excel app application. If it doesn't wants that Excel app, then by using Excel app, if we have opened up this, it will throw up an error. It states as someone is already accessing that file. I cannot access it. One is ask that person to close it, or else I will fail the workflow. That's what it is indicating. Now let's do that. Let's close this Excel file itself. Let me not save and close all of this Excel file. See, because of that, the bot have thrown an error since your Excel file was open. Now let me stop this workflow and let me go step by step and let's understand now. So anyways, we have closed, we will not get that error. If I hit step in, the workflow has started. Step in again. First is read range. I have read the data. See, now I don't have any error. Why? Because I have closed that Excel file. If you see, first is founding year, company, revenue. See, this is the way data table, how the bot is reading and storing rows and columns. Here you will not see exactly it is properly arranged, but in the bot's memory, it is in the terms of rows and columns itself. So you can access the data accordingly. Next, by using Excel application scope, you're reading the next data. So if I hit step in, if you observe below, it is indicating something. See, the bot has opened up this data too. If you remember, see, Excel app integration, it works in the foreground, like the same way as human. We open up an Excel file and we're going to do the things right, like the same way it is doing. If I hit step in, the bot gonna read that Excel file and it is storing in a variable called DT2. You can see first is revenue, founding, company name. And you can see the Excel file is still open. If I hit step in, just see what happens. The bot to the next activity, and you can see that Excel application is closed. What bot is doing is, since bot has opened up that Excel file, it's bot responsibility to close it as well. So it opened up, it got the data, it closed it. Next, what I'm doing, I'm filtering to only the years 2005 in DT1. And also I'm arranging the columns. First will be company, founding year, revenue. So let me hit step in and see what will be the output. You saw this is the current data what we have. If I hit step in, see, it is arranged column name. First is company, founding year, revenue, and the data you can see. You have only before 2005. Same thing is happening for D2 as well. See here, D2, revenue, founding, company. If I hit step in, See, company name, founding revenue, you got it. Next, you brought some standardization to the column position. Now you are bringing some standardization to the column names. If I step in D3, here you brought some standardization to the column names. Now you don't have data. What you're going to do is you're going to take the data by data from each of the data table and you're going to add it. Let me show you that. For each DT1, if I step in, add data. What data? Current row dot item array. If I hit that, current row dot item array, if I give it, see, I'm getting the entire data in the terms of an array. So here you can see array row. You have to give in this format itself. So that's the reason current row dot item array. If I give, the bot will be giving this value and it will be adding to the DT3. Right now DT3 is empty. If I hit step in, as you can see, I have a data now. Similarly, if I hit step in again, how many ever the data it has, it's going to add all of the things to DT3. Once it is done, it will move out to the next activity. Next, the bot going to do it for DT2. In the DT2, how many rows of data we have? We have 3 rows of data. The bot will be adding all the 3 rows of data to it. If you see in the DT3, it has added all the 3 rows. Next, after completion of that, you are writing the data to this Excel file. That Excel file, if I hit step in, see, the workflow is done. The workflow has completed. If I just go back to this location and if I open up the file, if you remember previously, I have cleared the data, but now I have the data. These are the companies, as you can see, it has founded before 2005. All are. See, based on my workflow, the bot have figured it out and it is giving me the appropriate output. And the workflow got ended. So this is the way how you can work it out with an Excel file. The first part and last part we have discussed. The mid area, it's an extended learning for us. In a previous example, we understood about the join, removing, some sorting, but now we talked about filtering, building, and iterating through each of the rows in the data table and all. So any questions over here? Anything to be highlighted?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, if you observe, the output doesn't have the column names. Why it is not having a column names? Because in the right range, in the properties, we haven't enabled option as add header. If we would have enabled, then it will add that header as well. In your when you're working, you can enable it and you can check it out. And also in Excel application scope activity, what it is doing, it is opening the Excel file, right? If you don't want your bot to open up an Excel file in foreground, you can also disable it. See, you have visible as enabled, right? By default, it will be enabled. If you disable it, the bot will not open up that Excel file on the foreground. It is something working in background itself, but not entirely. You need still an Excel application to be installed on your machine. If you have installed, then only this option will work. If you don't have that Excel application itself, then even this option will not at all work. You can just give it a try. These are the things what I just wanted to highlight, guys. If you have any questions on the Excel automation, you can ask me, guys, now. Anything to be highlighted?
No.
Then I think we are good. We are good to close this session. Post this session, I'll be posting the recordings and also all the files what I have used. You can refer it, guys. So please do practice, and whenever you are stuck, please do intimate in group. I will help you guys on it.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Then we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.